Hey everybody, welcome to an exclusive interview here on Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C. This is Kenny C here, and I am joined with a fetish model. She's a fetish performer. She also has her own internet radio talk show, and we're going to get into
Yay.
all that and many more. I am joined with Whitney Morgan right here, right now. Hello, Whitney.
That's Miss Whitney Morgan to you, sir.
Okay, well,
Hello, can you hear me okay?
yeah, I can hear you okay. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Kenny?
I'm doing real good. Thank you so much for taking the time and doing this interview.
Oh, no problem. I'm really appreciative that you have me on. Thank you so much.
You are absolutely welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. Talk a little bit about yourself and how did you get started in fetish and the adult film industry?
Ha, where do I begin? Um, Literally 3 days after my 18th birthday, I was with a friend in downtown Orlando and stumbled upon auditions for a fetish performance group. And they somehow decided that me, a little young blondish 18-year-old, was suitable for their adult in nature performances. I mean, I was legal, but barely legal. Um, Ever since then, I have been meeting photographers, producers, other performers all over the world. That was 9 years ago now. God, I'm getting old. The name of the troupe was Anti-Babe. They're no longer around in the Orlando area, but I still keep in touch with a lot of girls there. A lot of them are still professionally doing fetish modeling and fetish performances around. Um, Ever since then, I started several of my own websites. I run MissWhitneyMorgan.com. I run a handful of different clips for sale sites, interacting with a bunch of different fetishes. I have a variety fetish store, a femdom fetish store, tickling, bondage, feet. I'm a fan of feet as well, and bondage, so those can suit me pretty well. I know, like I said, I'm an open book. Pretty much ask me anything and I'm game.
Okay, well, what is you mentioned the number of fetishes that you do. What is the one fetish that you like doing the most?
Well, I am a professional dominatrix as well, so I do love a lot of the femdom stuff. I like beating boys up. It puts a smile on my face. I know it sounds cruel, but most of them ask for it, so it's okay, right?
I guess so. I guess so. Uh, it's fun nonetheless. Depending on what side you're on. Uh,
Like I said, they ask for it. They're willingly volunteering. So it's not like I'm just picking random guys and beating them up. Sometimes.
so, Whitney, let me ask you this: what is your biggest turn on as far as doing you working and doing these videos and productions? What do you consider your biggest turn on?
Hmm. My biggest turn on?
Yes.
I am actually quite the latex fetishist. I don't know if anybody listening is familiar with clothing. It's basically like the fetish version of cotton. It's the texture of a condom, and they come in all different types of clothing attire, and I absolutely love it. It's like second skin, and it's a huge turn on to wear it. That and bondage. Bondage was actually one of my very first video shoots way back in the day, was bondage oriented, and although I play more of a femdom side and a dominant female role, I do really greatly enjoy getting tied up and teased a little bit.
Speaking of being tied up, I listened to your show yesterday, and for what I have heard, you were tied up doing that broadcast, correct?
Yes, I like to multitask. Yeah, I run a internet-based explicit radio show every Thursday night from 7 to 9 called Taboo Fetish Talk. And last night, we ran a all about bondage episode, and I had two of my favorite bondage experts over at the studio for our little show. And one of them was helping out answering calls and playing in our chat room, while the other one took the liberty of tying me up on air.
I guess the only
Unfortunately, since it's radio, you don't really get to see everything. We did take a couple Twitter pics and whatnot, but if only it was all webcam based.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up. The only thing missing is a visual. But I guess people can use their own imagination, right?
Touche. Although I really think some of these internet, like your show as well, is you could bring the aspect of having a webcam attached as well on the page they're listening to. It would bring, I mean, you don't have to watch it, but it would bring that extra special little intimate appeal to it, so you could see what the hosts are doing. Although then the hosts got to get dressed up and put makeup on and do their hair and blah, blah, blah. That's a pain in the ass.
So exactly what made you decide to do internet radio?
I was approached by a porn starlet, Alicia Pleasure, at an erotic convention called Exotica down in Miami. She runs Porn Star Radio on Blog Talk Radio, and she interviewed me for her show and said, "Hey, we're looking for more people to fill spots during the week. What do you think?" And since I don't do a lot of porn really out there. I work with one exclusive male talent and some female talent. I'm more fetish-based more than anything. I asked her if it'd be okay, even though it's called Porn Star Radio, can we do a fetish-oriented show? And they ate it up. They absolutely loved it and thought it was a great idea. And then came along Taboo Fetish Talk. I guess I just got lucky.
Hey, whatever opportunity comes your way, it's just another way to expand yourself, and it's another way to interact with your fans. That's what it all boils down to.
Absolutely.
So everybody can listen to that show. I believe it's on Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, sir.
So, and I'm looking forward to interviewing your co-host in the future once she gets done with her LA.
Yeah, lucky bitch is out in LA right now.
Yeah, shout out to Sydney Screens, and we will set up her interview, and then how about we have you both? How about I interview you both at the same time in the future as well?
Absolutely.
So yeah, we definitely.
We're gonna have to have Kenny. We're gonna have to have you on, and we're gonna have to nitpick and discuss all of your personal fetishes.
Ooh.
Ooh. That could get interesting then, huh?
Well, I don't have that much fetishes to begin with, but I'm sure we'll work something.
What everybody says, but when you start to dig deep into it, even the littlest, slightest thing that you think, oh, maybe it's a normal turn on, it's still a fetish. You ever look at girls in maybe a short skirt or some high heels and go, that's nice.
Now, if you consider me being a fan of a certain someone like yourself, would that be considered a fetish?
I think there should be a Whitney Morgan fetish. If there's not, I'm gonna write a letter and demand it.
Well, consider you my fetish. A fetish.
I'm quoting you that on Twitter momentarily. Wait for it.
I'm sure you will. So yeah, I said it and I repeat it. Whitney Morgan, I guess, on this show is a fetish for me.
Ooh, I like
Tennessee. And
had a webcam going, you would see the smile on my face, and then all the listeners would see it as well.
And the funny thing is, I just started talking to you a few days ago on Twitter, and now here we all doing this interview. Gotta love Twitter.
I didn't want to get on it. I thought the whole, you can only have 140 characters. That's just stupid. And porn star, I was out in another convention out in LA, and another porn star said something about, you really need to get on that. I'm like, are you serious? It's dumb. I got on it 2.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and it has been the most fun, entertaining, best network resource ever. I regret not getting on earlier.
You know, I had that same feeling that you had. I didn't know what to think of it other than just 150 characteristics or whatever it was at the time. But it
Right?
ended.
I can't voice my opinion in 140 characters. I have too much to
Yeah.
say. I'm a blabber.
I mean, there's some people that wants to talk a little bit more than 150 characteristics, and I completely understand that. Uh, people just have a lot to speak their mind on. So I understand people were like myself and you were hesitant at first, but in the end, it become addicted. And I guess could you consider Twitter a fetish as well?
Why not? I have a Twitter fetish. I have over 30,000 tweets on there. If it's not a fetish, it's definitely an addiction of mine.
If you think about it, this is what I get as far as me interviewing past fetish models and stuff. Of course, you got your fetish and then you got your addiction. Do you think that kind of goes hand in hand?
No, certainly. No, certainly. I mean, actually, the textbook definition of a fetish is something that you are obsessive or completely addicted over. It doesn't have to necessarily be a sexual addiction. It's just basically an obsessive characteristic about yourself. I say this because I wrote a blog about it the other day for the All Adult Network. I write blogs. I like to try to entertain people.
Again, I'm joined with Whitney Morgan for an exclusive interview here on Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C. You can follow Whitney Morgan on Twitter at Miss as an MS Whitney Morgan. She's all of a sudden become my Twitter BFF, and she does tweet everybody.
Wow.
You
That
know,
was a sexy growl, by the way.
wow.
I don't know if it came off like it over the phone because the whole echo thing going on, but yeah, that was a sexy growl.
I'm sorry about the echo, by the way. I don't know what's going on.
I blame it on Sprint, and I don't know if that's proper etiquette for me to say that, but I blame it on Sprint because they're not giving me full reception right now.
It's either Sprint on your end or Skype on my end because I like 90% of people I interview always get that echo. So I don't know.
I didn't even think about doing it through Skype. Damn it. That was brilliant. Again, blonde moment. I'm a blonde, and I blame every idiotic moment I have on the fact that I am blonde or Polish. Either or.
Oh man. So let me ask you this, Whitney. Since you are an open book, what is your favorite way of having a orgasm?
I would like to sit on a male or female space because I love the ladies with a glass of wine in my hand because I'm a bit of a wino as well.
And who are some of the fetish and or adult film stars have you worked with?
I don't know if you've ever heard of the lovely Candlebox out of Atlanta, but that's my favorite. She's so yummy and she's funny, and she's got great tits.
I'm definitely familiar with that name, Candlebox. Yes.
She's Candlebox, and there's the lovely Catherine Fox as well out of the Tampa area. She's a fiery little redhead. Love her to bits and pieces. I've also shot and played with one of Tiger Woods' ex-mistresses, Devin James. She's also in the west coast of Florida. Florida girls are more fun, I swear. You should come to Florida.
Oh.
I promise you will have a very entertaining show and probably a harem of crazy girls. Really, Florida seems to be like the fetish jury model capital of the world. Just say.
I've interviewed multiple fetish models, and majority of them are from that Florida area. I guess I have to agree with you. Florida is the fetish capital of the world, or at least here in the
It's
U.S.
it's so warm and sunny, and we don't have to wear clothes. And a lot of us do foot fetish stuff. So then you can wear flip flops everywhere, so people stare at your feet.
And let's not forget about another important thing: the fact that you Florida folks don't have to pay taxes. I know that's a.
Tuesday, we don't have to pay a state tax.
I'm trying to find out how Kentucky can pull that off, but it's doesn't look like that's going to happen. But that's another subject for another time. Um, let me.
Hence the reason I'm never moving.
Hey, I don't blame you. If I lived in Florida, I wouldn't move in either.
come,
Sunshine and
come visit.
just the sunny weather and the beautiful woman in and out. I mean, that's like living the American dream right there.
That's going to be my new slogan for Florida, the American motherfucking dream.
Touche, touche. So, do you have any upcoming appearances? I believe you're going to be at the Fetish Con or Adult Con
Ooh, stalking me. Yes, I will be at Fetish Con, most certainly. That's in Tampa, Florida, of all places, the dirty fetish Florida capital. August 2nd through 5th. It is the biggest fetish convention ever. I think there's one other like really main fetishism type of convention is in Germany. So this is really all you'll get in the States. So if anybody is listening and wants to come down and play, it's awesome. I might be at Adult Con or the AVN Awards in either the LA or the Vegas area because I can't remember which one they're holding it at. And I will also be at DomCon in Atlanta in October. And hopefully that's enough traveling for me for the rest of the year.
Oh,
I am never home.
that alone, that indeed should be enough vacation for you.
Work, work, work. I never get a real vacation. Although I can't complain. I love what I do, and I'm so happy I'm not in a normal, I say that in quotations, a normal job anymore. I worked a normal job. I was 16 years old, and it was no fun whatsoever. And doing what I love, all these kinky, quirky, crazy fetishes, performing live for fans, doing radio gigs, doing conventions, and getting tied up and beating people up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's far more entertaining and puts a lot less stress in my life.
Is there anyone out there that you haven't worked with but would like to work with someday?
Quite a few people in the LA area. I have not been out to LA since 2009, which is a really long stretch, but there's several big sites like kink.com and Holly Randall, who runs twisties.com, Ken Marcus, who's an amazing bondage photographer or bondage and fetishism photographer that I'd love to work with, but alas, LA is a very expensive trip and a very expensive stay, so I don't go out there too often.
And why don't you go ahead and promote some other links that people can get in touch with you on? You got multiple clips for sales sites. You got other websites. Why don't you go ahead and promote them?
Well, if anybody's listening and they want to follow me on Twitter, it's Ms. Whitney Morgan. I'm also on Facebook for now. I've been kicked off 8 or 9 times, but if you want to try and find me on there, Grant, I'm keeping my fingers crossed I'm not kicked off again. You can look up Whitney Morgan. I have a friend page on there, and I have a fan page on there because I'm hoping the fan page at least won't get kicked off. MissWhitneyMorgan.com is my fan site. It's a pictorial fan site. The clips for sale pages I run, there are 4 of them. The store numbers are 32800, 3876, 41165, and 46917, I believe. Like too much stuff to keep track of. I promote them regularly on my Twitter page, and I'm also on Tumblr and Blogger and all those fun things under Whitney Morgan. Pretty much, if you Google Miss Whitney Morgan, you'll probably find some shenanigans and naked photos and selfie videos of me somewhere. Just being honest. I'm an honest person.
Yes, you are. Now, my last question for you is there any fetishes that you haven't done but would like to do that would you consider doing?
Yes. I haven't shot any video of wax play. I've shot some like photo sets of wax play, but I'm really actually into hot wax. I think it's kind of sexy. I don't just the warm feeling of pouring it all over your body is just, it brings tingles to me. And a more unusual fetish, I am really intrigued by pony play. And not a lot of people know or understand it, but it's where guys and or girls dress up in kind of a pony attire with the whole saddle, and they even have butt plug tails and these cute little booty high heel things with horseshoes on them. I'm a shoe fetishist, so maybe it's the whole shoe fetish is something that brings it into aspect for me. Yeah, I've heard that there are a few places where the guys will dress up like ponies and the girls can ride them around, and I find that very entertaining and intriguing, and I would love to do it. Call me crazy, call me weird, but I'm sure there are way more fucked up fetishes out there that I shoot. Maybe, possibly.
There's nothing fucked up about you, Miss Morgan.
Well, I thank you, Kenny. You're fabulous.
I just gotta say that I appreciate you having you on for this interview.
Oh, well.
And before I end it, I ask all guests to do this. It's like a station ID. It's like a voice drop. All you have to do is say your name, and what after you say your name, you say you are chilling with Jeff and Kenny C.
All right. I'm Whitney Morgan, and I'm chilling with Jeff and Kenny C. Is that sexy enough?
Oh, that was sexy. That was sexy. Probably the sexiest station ID of the year, right there.
Oh, thank you. Now, you know what this means. You're going to have to call into Taboo Fetish Talk one of these Thursdays and talk about your personal fetishes, or we'll have to dig them out of you.
Yep.
Ooh, challenge.
Well, I'll take that under consideration, Miss Whitney Morgan. And I want to thank you again, everybody. Be on the lookout for Whitney Morgan. Check out her show, Taboo Fetish Talk, on Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. Do you have any final words and shout-outs?
I just want to say thank you so much. And anybody listening, follow me on Twitter because I will constantly post entertaining things and dirty photos because that's what I'm known for at Ms. Whitney Morgan. And again, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. This will conclude the interview. You can listen to this and many more over at www.chillingbroadcasting.com. For Whitney Morgan, I am Kenny C. signing out, and you all have a good day. Peace out.